Yeah, hi there. These comments are for Helen. So how are you doing today? And I'm looking at your email right now. So let's take a look. You say you did the pretest or you did the speaking one, favorite place to visit. Unfortunately, you didn't really answer both parts of that question. Your score is going to be lower. I already talked to you about that, right? You say, I'm often unsatisfied with my first take on Voxipop. I stutter, repeat myself, or freeze. So do you want me to leave it on Voxipop, then tape the second recording after the first one, or cancel the recordings until the answer is decent? I would practice. What you can do is, even if you want to write out your response, if you want to write it out, maybe practice it several times, and then post it for me to listen to, I'm okay with that. Now, I know, you know, we know that you can't do this during the TOEFL exam, but this kind of practice right now can be helpful because you're learning how to control, I think, your grammar, your vocabulary, your pronunciation, and also how you're organizing and developing your ideas. Okay, let's see here. You say, I went through the videos explaining the structure of tasks 1 and 2. Could re-explaining the 2 reasons at the beginning of paragraphs 2 and 3 be considered as repetitious? Yes, it is. But as long as you're using repetition to organize, to make things stick together, so I don't see any problem with that. If you go to my speaking lesson number 7, you'll learn that you can repeat or rephrase key terms as a way of organizing your ideas, as long as you don't overdo it, right? Okay, you say, I've listened to many videos regarding the TOEFL speaking part, and some teachers advise students to speak as if they were having conversations with people, so not as formal as you present in your videos. You say, can being less formal and using more casual words be beneficial or detrimental for getting a higher grade? What is your advice in this matter? Let's take a look at the rubrics here for a minute. So, part of your language use, it says, you use effective grammar and vocabulary with natural sounding expressions and structures. You have good control of basic and complex grammar structures, although you have minor or systematic errors which do not affect the meaning of your ideas. So the problem here is if you're talking to somebody like in a casual conversation, you may have a tendency to use more basic grammar and vocabulary, but to me, I think in order to score better, you have to have a combination of both basic and then more advanced type vocabulary and grammar. Of course, you want to speak naturally as you can, right? But still, you want to show you have good language use. So I would be careful about being too casual in your responses. This is more of to me, this is a speaking practice test, especially when you're doing integrated tasks number 3, 4, 5, and 6. This is a very formal type speaking, in which case you're summarizing, explaining, and showing the relationships of information in the reading passage and the lecture there in those cases. So you want to speak, I think, a little more formally there. So that's how I would answer that. Let's go to your next one here. My advice in this manner is it's okay to be formal. They're not going to score you lower because you're too formal. If you got good solid vocabulary and good grammar, right? Remember, you're not just memorizing a response. You're using real English to help explain your ideas. You say, the next one, I stumbled on one of the videos you did lately, which was a response to my email. Thank you, by the way. So how do you respond to emails? Always by video? If so, how do I know you replied, and where can I find the responses? I should send you a message, hopefully with the last one. When you sent me a message, I sent you back a response with a link to the video answering your questions. That's what I normally do, but it could have been I maybe forgot to do that. Is that what happened? You say, where could I find on the website answers of different speaking tasks which was scored high, meaning between 3.5 and 4. Okay, good question. Okay, go to my website. Go to the speaking part of my course. And if I remember correctly, we have, if you go to the speaking section, which is number 7, let's see what we have here. Okay, here we go. I'm going to say lesson number 2, speaking lesson 2, speaking lesson 2.3. You can see some responses there. How about lesson 1? So lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 2.3, and then lesson 3, lesson 4, lesson 5, and lesson 6. These should give you some sample responses of how you can respond to some of these tasks. Now, if you want, some of my integrated speaking, maybe they're a little bit outdated. So if you want to use your TOEFL book and you want to post some integrated speaking from there, you can do that. But here's the bottom line, I'm telling you, Helen, here. If you use a lot of English, right, and you're used to speaking, right, and you've listened to English, you're reading it a lot, if you have, I think, a lot of exposure like that, that's going to make it easier for you to complete these kinds of tasks. All right, so I think we're good. I just went through and answered all of the questions in your email here. And hang in there. Remember, practice makes perfect. Keep sending me practice tests on a day-to-day basis. And the main thing for me, it isn't just TOEFL. My job is to help you speak more proficiently and more fluently. Personally, I don't even care about the TOEFL exam. My real purpose is to help you develop academic English language abilities so you can function, I think, in an academic setting, but you can also function in a workplace setting with your English, and you can function with your interpersonal relationships with other people. If after my course you feel you can do better in those 3 areas, and of course you'll get a higher TOEFL score, but that's actually not my real purpose. Remember, there's a lot of online courses out there. You may have taken one even. They just focus on going through the practice tests. That's not really what my website is all about. My website is designed to help you improve your overall academic English language abilities. Even if you don't need the TOEFL, my website's going to be good. I have many students who use my site who don't even need the TOEFL. They just want to improve their English. All right? Anyway, thank you very much, and all the best to your high-scoring TOEFL success.